but I personally, to be honest, like I keep an open mind, but I haven't really pinned my, you know.
You haven't nailed your
No.
beliefs onto a
No, well, I haven't
particular...
really, I suppose I haven't really found something that sort of captures me as much, you know what I mean?
So, do you believe in the possibility of a creator, first of all?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
So, what we as theists would say, whether you believe, whatever type of religion you believe in, and we're Muslims, so we believe that God is a singular being who is unlike his creation. So he's not a man, woman, idol, or statue. So then we try to reason this understanding by stating that if the universe came into existence, even as an atheist or agnostic, you would have to accept that some sort of supernatural event has occurred. What do you think? If science currently tells us that the universe came into existence some nearly 14 billion years ago.
Yeah.
So if it came into existence, it begs the question, how and why?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's a good question to answer.
Yes. So what we commonly like people to reflect upon, if it came into existence, that means there was a time when it wasn't. From our understanding, everything that begins to exist has a cause. So surely there would have been a cause to the universe as well. And science tells us there was a cause. So, but that's dealing in the matters of the metaphysical. Science can go by the empirical or observable. But what we can say, when the universe came into existence and we had all these elements, helium, hydrogen, we had protons, electrons, neutrons, they were all as a construct of this massive blast which apparently took place. But what perpetuated that? Did it have a conscious will? Did it have a mind? Did it have a reasoning? So we say that it's impossible by just theorizing that something that does not exist then comes into existence. That is by definition too far-fetched. So there has to be something which is eternal, which has made this exist. Otherwise, you get the problem of infinite regression, whereby who created that being, who created that, and it will go on forever. And we will not even come into the present if it goes on forever. So like, for example, as you're a teacher, you would know that one cannot traverse infinity. So by this definition, we say that there's something has to be outside of the universe, cannot be contingent upon the universe, and must be independent. The universe could have been any way. The fact it's a particular way tells us that something which is independent of those things has indeed set this all in motion. So therefore, asking the question of who created God becomes redundant due to the fact that this is an infinite chain of events that carries on, and then we would never have come here in the present. Does that make sense? I know I'm rambling on.
It's a good point. I mean, my question now would be like, why your God then?
Fantastic point. So what we say, in essence, that one being has to, by definition, be singular. It cannot be a multiplicity of different gods, because then you would say, well, who created that God? Who created that God? Who created that God? So it has to be something unique, arbitrary, and just singularly by itself. So then what we say is that all the world's religions, if this is really interesting, as you're a teacher of students, that in fact, if you look at all the world scriptures, it's very fascinating. They actually speak about one God who is unlike his creation. So God is neither a man, woman, idol, or statue. What happens then, my friend, is essentially within these scriptures, third-party narratives become ubiquitous. What do I mean? If we look at the New Testament, for example, as you mentioned, your father's converted into Catholicism. Now, we get a multiplicity of different authors who write the New Testament, each espousing certain theologies which they're seeking to propel. But for example, are you aware that Jesus in the New Testament never ever claims to be God? He simply claims to be a prophet who was sent by God. So what happened then was that later eulogies of Christ became invoked within the first 3-4 centuries of Christianity, and then only in the year 451, so you're talking about full 400 plus years after Christ, that the affirmation of the Trinity became sacrosanct and stamped in Christian history. But early Christians, they fought furiously amongst themselves as to who Jesus was. So what I'm basically saying is that if you look at all the world scriptures, they essentially espouse God is one. But what then happens is within these world scriptures, they then make the major protagonist to being God. So Jesus became God for the Christians, Ram, Vishnu, Krishna for the Hindus, although they don't ever make the claim that they're God Almighty. So this is a very fundamental point to observe.
Interesting. I mean, you listen up, right? It's just like there's a lot of noise, right? And I personally find that the closest I get to any kind of real idea of what the world is like is when there's nothing there at all. Just close my eyes is just silence, just being. That's as close as I'll ever get. And I feel like I'd love to keep this, if that's all right.
Of course.
I feel like the more words that come bombarding in me, the more I
Spin
spin
off
into these
but we just like trying to
directions,
reason. It's not.
stories and ideas.
Yeah,
And
but in terms
I
of
don't know.
creation, you see, because I did ask initially about do you believe in a creator, and you were a bit hesitant. So I just made mention that there's more of a possibility than there's more probable than improbable, based upon the points that are raised. So something for you to reflect upon. In addition to that leaflet, we're giving out free Qurans in English as well. Would you like a copy, free of charge?
Well, I haven't got anything to carry it with.
We're going to give you a little carrier. We'll give you a carrier bag.
I'll be coming back that way.
Okay.
So I'll come back.
No problem. We've got a carrier bag for your attention as well. You can use
I'll
it.
carry it around with me now.
No problem.
Popping over and then I'll come back.
No problem. That's fine. I mean, I hope you found some of the points informative and nice speaking to you. Please do pop by again. Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you. So a very pleasant conversation with this young teacher who teaches young children, as obviously what a teacher does. So we, inshallah, will be looking at him returning and coming back and then discussing with us further. So he was interested. I think some of the points resonate. The heart then becomes compelled to the points that are raised. So may Allah guide him, and hopefully he returns shortly and we can try to delve in further into this discussion. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yeah.